scholars, this is Miss C, and it is reading time. We are going to be reading an engagement text and a decodable.
Materials.
So go ahead and put your thinking cap on. Ready? We have 3 new learning targets for today. Please follow along with me as I read them. Our first learning target says, using evidence from the text, I can answer questions about the text. Reduce, reuse, recycle. The second learning target says, I can read the high-frequency words, materials, purpose, community, person, everyday, and again. Our last learning target says, I can read the decodable text, recycle.
Transition song.
Gather round together, together, together. It's time to hear a story, a story, a story. It's time to hear a story and say what you've learned.
Read aloud.
Listen carefully as I read the engagement text, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make sure you are listening closely because I am going to ask you questions at the end of this text. Here we go. Have you ever heard of the 3 R's of waste management? They are reduce, reuse, recycle. Waste is anything that we want to throw away. Managing or taking care of this waste helps keep our environment, earth and everything on it, clean and healthy. Reduce. Reduce means to make smaller or less. Think about some ways that you can make less trash. For example, instead of buying plastic water bottles, you can buy a reusable water bottle and fill it up. Or you can reduce environmental toxins and chemicals by walking or riding a bike to get around whenever you can, instead of riding in a vehicle. Reuse. Reuse means to use again. Typically, when a person is finished with something, he or she throws it away. Get creative. Think about ways you can reuse something for a different purpose. For example, if your class eats a bunch of popsicles, instead of throwing away the sticks, you can collect them and use them to build something. Or think about somebody that may want what you are throwing away. If you no longer play with your soccer equipment, think about giving it all to a neighbor instead of throwing it away. Recycle. There are many materials that can be recycled to make new items. Recycling materials helps cut down on the waste in landfills. Recycling also helps reduce the amount of energy that is used to make these materials. Some examples of materials that should be separated from your trash to recycle are plastic, aluminum, paper, and cardboard. If we all work together to do the 3 R's of waste management, we can help make the environment healthier now and in the future.
Question and answer.
Now let's talk about what we just read. My first question is, what is waste? Waste is anything that you throw away. My next question is, why is it important to manage our waste? It is important to manage our waste to keep the environment clean and healthy. When you add "re" to the beginning of an action word, what does it mean? Re means to do it again. If re means to do it again, does reduce mean to deuce again? How do you know? No, because deuce isn't a word. The text tells us that reduce means to make smaller or less. Great work listening, friends.
Word work.
Let's play snap or trap. Remember, we put words that play fair or follow the rules that we know in the snap column. And words that do not play fair or are not spelled the way we would expect in the trap column. Here we go. Our first word is materials. In this word, we hear the sneaky schwa sound in the first syllable, ma instead of ma. We also see an R-controlled vowel, but it doesn't make the sounds we'd expect. So we know this word, material, goes in the trap column. Our next word is purpose. The first syllable of this word, per, sounds like we'd expect, with the UR saying The second syllable has a magic E that should be telling the O to say its name, but it doesn't. Which column do you think purpose belongs in? It belongs in the trap column. Our next word is community. I see a closed syllable, C-O-M, but it doesn't sound like a short O. Community. That sneaky schwa is showing up again. We can handle a schwa sound though, and the rest of this word sounds like we'd expect. So community is a snap. Our next word is person. This word has another schwa. Instead of hearing person with a short O, we hear person. Since the rest of the word sounds like we'd expect, we will put person in the snap column too. The next word is everyday. Everyday is a compound word made up of smaller words. Every day. This is a snap word. Our last word is again. We have seen that two-syllable words starting with A often have a schwa sound, and that's what we hear in again. The second syllable is tricky though. The vowel team AI should say the long A sound, but it doesn't. So we know we would put again in the trap column.
Fluency.
Now we'll read our decodable reader, recycle. Jump up every time you hear one of these high frequency words. Materials, purpose, community, person, everyday, again. Watch for the blue underlines to help you know when to jump. Good luck, and here we go. What does it mean? Many materials that we use every day, like plastic and metal, can be used again. When these materials are recycled, they are used again instead of being thrown away. As you can see, we had a few high-frequency words. Starting from the top, we have materials, again, materials, again. Make sure you jump every single time you see the blue line. Materials can be recycled for the same purpose. For example, imagine that you grew 4 inches over the summer. Now, your bicycle is too small for you. You can recycle the bicycle by giving it to your little sister instead of throwing it away. It will be used for the same purpose. We had the high frequency words, materials, and purpose. Materials can also be recycled for a different purpose. Instead of throwing out food scraps, you can use them for plant food. This process recycles your food scraps for a different purpose. To grow plants in your home garden or your local community garden. As you can see, we had a few high-frequency words. Starting from the top, we have materials, purpose, and community. Why should you do it? A typical person throws away 1.5 tons of solid waste per year. And did you know that Americans throw away enough plastic bottles each year to circle the world 4 times? That's a lot of trash. We have the high frequency word person on this page. When you recycle, you reduce the trash. Also, making these materials uses up a lot of water and puts chemicals in the air. So, recycling helps to save water and keep the air clean too. We have the high frequency word materials. What can you do? First, you should know what can be recycled. Paper, plastic, glass, metal, textiles, batteries, food, and electrical equipment. Then separate these materials from your trash. We have the high frequency word materials again. The last step is to find out where these things can be recycled. Maybe your community has a local recycling program and will pick up some of these items. Or you might need to find a place to take them. We can all work together to recycle. We have the high frequency word community shown on this page.
Closing reflection.
Which high frequency words were not tricky for you to read? Which were tricky for you to read? You did a great job reading today. Don't forget to read for at least 20 minutes every single day. And be on the lookout for those sneaky schwa words and those words that end with the k sound. Great work, and I can't wait to see you next time.